Hi, my name is Polina Noskova, and I'm the Rockbridge County Beat Reporter for the Rockbridge Report. I'm joined here this morning with John Nicholson, the CEO of the Virginia Horse Center. Thank you so much for being here.
It's great to be here, Polly.
Could you tell us how long you've been at the Horse Center?
I've been the CEO of the Horse Center since May of this year, 2015. I was there for a year previous to that as a consultant. So my association with the Horse Center has been a year and a half.
And what was your career before you joined the Virginia Horse Center?
Well, primarily for 17 years, I was the CEO of the Kentucky Horse Park, which is a large equestrian facility and tourism center in Lexington, Kentucky, and retired from that in the spring of 2014 and became a consultant, and the Virginia Horse Center was one of my clients.
So what brought you to Lexington and to the Horse Center in particular?
Well, some people in the industry that I knew that were associated with the Horse Center called me that there were some challenges facing the Horse Center. I was familiar with the Horse Center. I had a great deal of respect for it in my years in the equestrian industry, but that there were some challenges ahead, and might I come and be a part of a group of people that were working on some solutions.
Great, and could you tell us a little bit about what those challenges were?
Well, they were, I think, financial primarily, and essentially, Polly, the Commonwealth of Virginia and the Horse Center, which had had a relationship since the inception of the Horse Center, which was conceived by the Commonwealth of Virginia, had separated financially around 2007. And a big USDA loan was what precipitated that, what made it possible, and that required debt service, and there was some internal financial challenges and situations there, and it was really, you know, the entire operation needed examination. It's a beautiful facility, a great facility, highly respected nationally and internationally, but at that time, like a lot of horse facilities, had its issues.
What operational changes have you brought to the Horse Center since you've come?
Well, we've got a great team, and we brought in people from kind of all sectors, not only of the industry, but outside the industry. And we have Sandra Thomas, who's our CFO, who's got Fortune 500 experience. Leanne Claywell, who many people in the community know. She has extensive experience in the equestrian industry, United States Equestrian Federation, and throughout the horse show industry in the United States. My background with the Kentucky Horse Park and the World Equestrian Games, which we brought to the United States in 2010, it's a collection of unique talents. And so I think we did a lot of things, primarily reforming our finances and working closely with the community, mainly the City Council of Lexington and Rockbridge County Board of Supervisors, to add a 3rd cent to the transient tax of Rockbridge County, which not only shored up the debt service, which was so necessary, but also is allowing some funds for some much needed deferred maintenance and capital construction at the Horse Center. And so I think primarily that's what we've done, but I think we've re-energized our constituent base, the people who for so many years supported the Horse Center, that perhaps were concerned for a while. I think our family is reunited. I think the energy is there again, and I think there's a real sense of optimism about the future of the Horse Center that perhaps wasn't there a year and a half ago.
Great. Recently, at a Rockbridge County Board of Supervisors meeting, you were talking about a new strategic fundraising plan that the Horse Center is going to employ. Could you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, that's very exciting. Through a private donation, we engaged a firm, West Avenue Associates, to do a thorough review of how we raise money privately, because it bears remembering that the Horse Center is a 501c3. It's a charitable organization, and although it has strong revenue from operations, and that's, you know, we operate as a business, but at the same time, we have always depended upon the charitable donations of those people who love the Horse Center, who love this area, who love the horse, and all the heritage and history that represents. And so we want to have a more systemic, more sustained effort in that regard, and that's been very exciting. We're benefiting from the participation of a lot of people, but I think primarily it bears noting that Ernie Orr, who's a great leader in Virginia's horse industry and nationally as well, has really taken this horse center as a personal mission, and he is chairman of our board, president and chair of the board. He took on the unenviable task a couple of years ago of trying to deal with these issues and challenges that the horse center had. And I think one of Ernie's first priorities was transparency financially and re-engagement with the Rockbridge area constituents and our fellow citizens. And I think Ernie setting that tone is really what has set loose the rest of the good things that have happened.
Along with that plan, do you have any new sorts of events that are coming to the Horse Center?
We do. It's really exciting. Last year, for example, we had the AQHA Novice Championships, which came here for the very first time last year, and we hope to at some point have them back. But that's an example of big, exciting events that are coming here. The Roanoke Valley Horse Show, for example, will be here in Lexington for the first time ever. And there was some question about whether that great tradition was going to continue. And I was very glad that the Horse Center, the Virginia Horse Center here in Lexington, was able to play a key role in making sure that great tradition and celebration for really the heritage of Virginia and equestrian sport in Virginia is able to continue because of the Horse Center.
Right, one of our reporters in Aikens was actually covering the rodeo that was at the Horse Center last weekend. I know that's more of a traditional Horse Center event. And could you, I don't know, maybe give a brief overview of the sorts of events that y'all tend to have?
Well, you know, as you know, equestrian sport is really divided into two big worlds. The English world, which is like dressage and jumping and eventing and sports like that, and then the Western world, which are cowboys and cowgirls doing lots of fun sports like barrel racing and team pinning and often doing things with cattle and rodeos and reining. And traditionally, I think the Virginia Horse Center has been strongly associated with the English side of things. Now, we've got a great relationship with the quarter horse community in Virginia. We've had a lot of events there featuring quarter horses, but I think that's going to be a real growth area for us as we move ahead into the future. I think you're going to see a lot of events like that. They're great traditional events that have been at the Horse Center since the Horse Center opened in the mid-'80s, like the Bonnie Blue Saddlebred show, which is something everyone looks forward to. And we're looking forward to a great rejuvenation of that show, for example. These great saddle horse and breed shows that have been at the Horse Center as well. So there's a lot of upside, building upon a foundation, a positive foundation and reputation that the Virginia Horse Center enjoys.
Great. Could you tell us a little bit more about what your future plans are, both with the Horse Center and your career?
Well, for me, I'm just very proud to be part of a really outstanding team, and we'll continue to build that team as we go forward. The most important thing that's happened is that we have arrived upon the doorstep of financial stability. And that stability is the first thing you have to have happen before you can move forward in a big way. But I think in the months ahead, I think you'll see continued dramatic steps forward by the Horse Center in terms of national profile, our increased efforts at development, which have started with this program that we're working with. And we're in the strategic planning process. We haven't focused on a strategic plan in recent times because we had more pressing matters. And again, as we approach financial stability, looking well into the future of 5 and 10 and even 20 years down the road, a strategic plan becomes very important to that. And we've got some really outstanding board members who are working on that process. And people locally who are participating in that effort as well. We really view ourselves as partners with Rockbridge County. because of the importance economically of the Horse Center to Rockbridge County, not only financially, but in terms of its cultural landscape. I think you can think of Rockbridge County and as someone who's relatively new to it, perhaps I can look at it at a different perspective, but I have fallen in love with this area because of H's, of history, higher education, and horses. And that combination is remarkable and a unique asset to Rockbridge County.
Great. Well, I certainly look forward to seeing the Horse Center grow and develop with y'all's new strategic plan. Thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Well, thank you for having me.
For the Rockbridge Report, this is Polina Noskova.